Have you ever seen someone you love long after they were gone? Tonight, under the moonlight, I will tell you the story of a young girl who saw her dead grandmother standing in the crowd of Eke Market. This is not just a story of love, it's a story of mystery, tradition, and the thin line beyond the world of the living and the world of the spirits. There was once a girl named Obiageli. She was just 16, playful, curious, and deeply attached to her grandmother, Mama Neka. Mama Neka was the kind of woman who knew the herbs that cured fevers, malaria, the proverbs that guided life, the songs that made children fall asleep. Obiageli loved sitting by her side in the evenings, listening to her old stories. But one rainy season, Mama Neka fell ill, and before the next moon cycle, she was gone. The entire village mourned for Obiageli. It was as if her world had ended. Months passed, life moved on. Though Obiageli carried grief in her small heart. Then came Eke Market Day, the busiest day of trade, when villagers gathered to buy palm oil, yams, clothes, beads, and gossip. Obiageli mother sent her to buy spices and herbs. With a basket in hand, she made her way to the market. The smell of roasted corn filled the air. Women called out their goods, children ran between stalls. Everything was normal until she froze. Across the crowd, she saw a familiar figure, a bent old woman wrapped in a faded wrapper, walking slowly with a wooden staff. Her heart stopped. It was Mama Neka. Obiageli rubbed her eyes. She whispered, "No, it cannot be." But the woman turned and said yes. Those were her grandmother's eyes. The same scar above her eyebrow, the same wrapper she was buried in. Obiageli dropped her basket. "Mama, Mama Neka," she called. But the woman didn't answer. She only looked at her with eyes that carried sadness and warning before disappearing into the crowd. Obiageli chased after her, pushing past traders and customers. She searched every corner of the market, but Mama Neka was gone. Obiageli returned home trembling. When she told her mother, the woman frowned. "Don't ever say such thing," her mother scolded. "The dead do not walk in the markets." But that night, Obiageli dreamed of her grandmother. She stood at the foot of her bed whispering, "Come to the shrine at the edge of the forest. There is something you must know." When Obiageli woke, her body was cold with sweat. The dream felt too real, and when Eke Market Day came again, she saw Mama Neka once more, standing by the palm oil sellers, watching her in silence. Fear turned into curiosity. Why was her grandmother appearing? What message did she bring? Against her mother's warning, Obiageli decided to follow the vision. On the Eke Market Day, when she saw Mama Neka again, she followed her. Through the crowd, past yam sellers, out of the market square, into the narrow bush path that led to the abandoned shrine. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. Obiageli's heart pounded. She called out, "Mama, wait for me." But the old woman kept walking until she stopped in front of the shrine. There, Mama Neka turned. Her voice was no longer like a living woman's. It was like the rustle of dry leaves. Obiageli, listen to me. Our family has forgotten the covenant. The shrine is angry. If the sacrifice is not restored, the spirit will come for you. And just like that, she vanished. Obiageli screamed and ran home. She told her mother everything. And this time, the woman was scared. The truth spilled out. Long ago, the family was tasked to keep the shrine sacred with offerings of kola and palm wine. But in recent years, they abandoned it, thinking such traditions were old and useless. Now, their ancestors were restless. The village elders were called. They listened, and after a long silence, one of them spoke. The girl speaks the truth. The spirit chose her eyes to see what we ignored. That night, the elders prepared sacrifices at the shrine. They poured palm wine, broke kola nuts, and chanted ancient prayers. As the last chant faded, a cool wind blew. Obiageli swore she saw Mama Neka one final time, smiling at her before dissolving into the night air. From then on, Obiageli never saw her grandmother again. But she knew the truth. The dead sometimes return, not to harm, but to remind the living of forgotten duties. So my children, when you hear tales of spirits walking in markets or dreams, do not always dismiss them. Sometimes the ancestors walk among us, guiding, warning, guiding. This was the tale of Obiageli and her grandmother. Remember, the living and the dead are not as far apart as we think, especially on nights when the moon is full. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click on the like button and share to your friends. Thank you.